In this tutorial, I will demonstrate how to map and quantify flood extent during the devastating 2022 flood in Sindh province, Pakistan, using satellite data and cloud-based geospatial tools. Leveraging Sentinel-1 synthetic aperture radar imagery, we detect flooded area by comparing pre and post flood backscatter values, which are highly sensitive to surface water. Since SAR can penetrate clouds and capture data both day and night, it's ideal for disaster monitoring, especially during extreme weather when optical imagery is unavailable. I used Google Earth Engine to access and process Sentinel-1 data, calculate changes in radar reflectance, and generate a flood extent mask. This allows us to identify areas that were newly inundated after heavy rainfall. Going a step further, we overlay administrative boundaries to quantify the total flooded area for each district in Sindh province. The final result is a district-wise report of inundating land in square kilometers, data that's critical for disaster response teams, planners and researchers at the various district level in Sindh province, Pakistan. The workflow is fully cloud-based, reproducible and scalable. Whether you are a GIS analyst, hydrologist, or just a passionate about climate resilience, this approach shows how powerful satellite data and open source tools can be in responding to real world emergencies. So now let's visit the code. Initially, you have to import the two libraries, Google Earth Engine and Gmap, and then define your study area in the very second step. So our area is Sindh province. So here you can see level 1. By changing this value, you can check the various district at the in the Sindh province. So here this is a function to get the Sentinel-1 VV backscatter data. This piece of code. This piece of code is for free pre-flooded July 2022 data, and the second one is the post-flood September 22 data. So based on the difference of these two, we will compute the flood extent area, which is this one. This piece of code simply compute the difference between the pre and post flood, and this is the third one. To mask the flooded area, I have used a threshold value 1.5, but if you want to use for research purposes, just trace out this value from the literature and use it over here. So now moving ahead, the next and last step is the visualization of this particular area, flooded area. So here you can see this is a Sindh province, Pakistan. These are different layers. By checking this, you can see the street map disappears. Now click this one, pre, post, difference between these two, flood extent and Sindh province. So this is the boundary of the Sindh province. So here you can see this is pre-flood imagery. So, and this is the post-flood image. So here you can see the clear-cut difference between these two imagery. So based on these two differences between these two imagery, we have computed the flood extent. So here you can see this is the flood difference between these two, and this difference is basically defined in terms of flood extent. So now move to the next step of the code. So here you can see again I have uploaded the district boundary layer. So as I have already mentioned, if you write here or instead of 1 you write 2, so basically you will get the shape file of Sindh province at various district level, and this data is basically acquired from FAO. And this is the each pixel area, and here you can see flooded pixel area. By how we can calculate the flooded pixel area? By simply calculate the whole flooded pixel and then multiply it with a single pixel area, that is the sentinel SAR imagery. So when you multiply these two, you will get the whole flooded area. So as we are interested to compute the flooded area at various district level, so this is basically the zonal statistic piece of code to compute the flooded area at various district level of the Sindh province. So now map, these are the overall map of the overall district. And now moving ahead, you can see print, it will print out the result, and the result will be in the form of CSV file. When you run this piece of code, we will get the result in the form of CSV file. So if you click this link, when you run it, we will get this result. If you click this link, the file will be downloaded. So here you can see the file is I have already downloaded over here. Download, and this is the file. This file basically contains the flooded area in square kilometer, and this is the administration: Bondi, Hyderabad, Ladkana, Mirpur, Sakkar and Badi. These are the district, and this is the corresponding flooded area in square kilometer. So this is all about this particular tutorial.